our discussions around family time and quality of life. I'll tell you honestly, the decision was probably made early on in December. We go south every holiday break. That we're going to do this meeting, notify the board. We're going to step down this, which would have been next year because we were talking in December. So when I write in that missive today, it was a true story. When my son-in-law Jorge walked me into the NICU to meet my grandson for the first time, and you know this from me, bro, you got to scrub up and be sanitized. So there's this little tiny baby with this little tiny, they're real fingers, but they're tiny things. And Jorge says to me, "Dad, you can touch him." And I did just like this on the back of his tiny little hand, and he kind of opened up like that. And I stuck my finger, and he just went off like that. I'm going, that's pretty cool. Now, I'd like to tell you, if this were a movie, that was the moment I decided. That would be bull. I think I'd already decided.
Right.
But if anything, that sealed it for me. There's never a good time for leadership change because there are always things going on at Central, at the university. There are major initiatives going on right now. When I came as president, the major initiative was something called the College of Medicine. It had 4 employees. It had no curriculum. We hadn't recruited any students. The other president was gone, and there I was. And oh, by the way, a 15% budget cut my first year as president. There's always stuff going on. There's never an ideal time. So we made a decision that was personal and we believe to be professionally correct for us as individuals. When I say we love this place, I don't say that lightly. We have developed strong relationships with Central, its students, its faculty, its staff. I've gotten the nicest notes from people today. So it was a family decision with Mrs. Ross and I. I look forward to this coming September on our 25th wedding anniversary to take that trip to Europe she's been waiting for 20 years. There's so many anniversaries. Anniversaries on September 18th. We've missed anniversaries because of board meetings over the years, and she has smiled and endured. Birthdays, other special family events. That's the life of a university president. That's what I signed up for. So our decision was a personal one, and our decision was one that we think it's time for us, and we think it's an opportunity for Central. The board is working with me as they plan the search for a new president, plan the transition. I will not be dropping off the end of the earth. When I step down in July, I will be operating out of our Atlanta, Georgia metro office. I'll have an office there. I will hopefully assist the new president in her or his transition at their request. I plan to continue to assist with the capital campaign. We will go public with that campaign in April. The major initiatives won't stop because I'm leaving as president. So I assist with whatever initiatives the new president and probably Bob Martin advancement needs me to do as I hand over the reins of the university to a new president. I plan right now to come back in 2019 and teach. I've taught at Central in the College of Business Administration. I've guest lectured in 2 other colleges. I'm tenured in educational leadership, but frankly most of my teaching has been in accounting. And somewhere between the College of Business and the College of Education, I hope to do some teaching. But frankly, it'll allow me more time to reflect. And frankly, sounds very selfish, but more time with the family. I want to emphasize it's nothing I did by myself. You can't do any of that by yourself. It requires strong leadership at various levels of the university. Strong administrators, strong faculty. There's been student leadership here who's helped me tremendously as president. Probably the academic things. We talk about building biosciences or major renovations to ANSPA, but those are facilities, they're important. but it's the academic rigor here is tougher than when I became president for incoming classes. I'm proud of that. We've raised more money. That's a true fact. You can check the numbers. I'm proud of that. We've been very deliberate about shared governance and communication. Our new strategic plan has been very, very well thought out. I had great input. I'm proud of all those pieces. Again, not by myself. We did this. Maybe what I'm proudest of is not in the missive. So when I count up the number of students who've received CMU degrees under my presidency, it's north of 42,000. And these are individuals, almost 9 out of 10 of them stay and work in Michigan. And they're Chippewas. We have changed, we have transformed their lives. I'm probably prouder of that than anything, because I do believe the education that you all receive here transforms your lives. I have met too many students and mentored too many students not to know that for a fact. If they hadn't paid attention to me in grade school and high school, I wouldn't be sitting here. I'm one of 12 kids, 6 older, 5 younger. Only one who went to college and got out of college, the only one who graduated from high school. So when I say how transformative education is, it's not something I read in a book or saw in a movie. It's something I live. When I look you all in the eyes and students and say you can do anything you put your mind to do, it's not pie in the sky for me. Mm-hmm. I'm president of one of the largest universities in the country, and I'm just a poor country kid from rural Mississippi. My dad was a sharecropper, a cotton farmer. It's education that made that difference. So there are north of 4,500 colleges and universities in America. In the top 3 of challenges to all of them, including Central University, particularly the publics, is public support. I have been lobbying state legislators, the governor, since the time I've come to invest, not give, but to invest in higher education. There's not a study you can't pick up that will indicate that communities across the country and states across the country who have a higher percentage of their population with bachelor's degrees and above do better financially. It just makes good sense. We've got to find a way to invest in higher education, and the new president will have that challenge in front of her or in front of him. The preparedness of students coming from the K-12 system, that remains a challenge. It will be a challenge as we move forward. I think technology will be a challenge. It changes at lightning speed for faculty and students for the institution in general. I would put those 3 in there at the top. Maybe a secondary tier. The amount of reporting that we have to do is ominous. I always chuckle when people talk about transparency essential and want to imply somehow we're not transparent. We report on everything up to the gazoo. That's not a real word, so I won't put that in the newspaper. But I would probably say those things. But it's not unique to Central. Right. Same challenges exist in East Lansing and Michigan State. It exists up in northern Michigan. It exists at Alcorn State University, where I was president. It exists at Cal State Northridge. It's across the country. I have these conversations with presidential colleagues across the country all the time. We're seeing the same things. What'll start happening is I'm going to spend a lot more time in Chicago or Nashville, where my daughter's thinking about moving to, with my grandson. And what'll go away is those missed opportunities to be with my wife, she puts a lot of time and energy in, and I appreciate the acknowledgments I've gotten today. They've always included Elizabeth. Mm-hmm. She puts a lot of time in, and it's volunteer time. She does it out of a sense of passion and caring for the place. So, but it's time for us old folks to get some rest. It's no more complicated than that. Mm-hmm. Hell, I'll be 67 years old in April. It's time for me to get some rest.